Welcome to Tilt Trek Point 5. It's you know how it is in pinball. We can never release the first edition first. Where are we at?
Today we're in beautiful Heritage Lake. Our first place we're going to visit is a place called Floated.
Floated. That's a great name for a pinball place, but it's a little chilly out here. So why don't
Hi
we
guys,
head inside?
and welcome to Floatins. Here we have all of our pinball machines. He has 4 in total. First we have Rush, followed by Alice Cooper. Next is Revenge from Mars, and finally is Iron Maiden. The thing I like best about Floatins is the space in between all the machines. That way you have enough elbow room to play. As we make our way around the room, we have a fully stocked bar, and up the way we have the garage where more pinballs are kept during the tournament. And now let's go find Glenn.
Hey, Dennis.
Glenn?
Thanks for inviting us to your place.
Absolutely.
Hey, I love this place, as you know. We just played a great tournament in your place, but the Floated is one of the greatest names in pinball. I'm surprised there's not 1,000 places. It seems like a place that Steve Ritchie would have hung out in the Floated. So where'd the name come from?
Fortunately, that was a coincidental concatenation of my last name and my girlfriend's last name, Flynn and Walden, thus the Float-In.
That's awesome. I mean, it's amazing. Did you pick a girl out purposely because it would flow into a good name like that, or?
No, I have other reasons for choosing it.
That's awesome. No, because it just is a great place to play, and I know Kayla, when she does the tour of the place, she's always going to talk about how great the space is and so on. So how did this all start? How did you get in the pinballs? How did you decide which ones to get? So tell me a little bit about the Floated.
Well, as you know, you and Sam, my girlfriend, were friends for a long time. We moved out here about 18 months ago. Got to spend some time in your basement where you had Revenge from Mars, and we're contemplating selling it. Sam really wanted to acquire a pinball machine to turn this basement into a fun social hangout. She convinced me, and I purchased it. That would be in January of 2021, and thus began an expensive hobby.
It's pretty amazing. It's a heck of a lineup. And I know this game here, this Pinball 2000, has never looked better than when I owned it. It never looked this beautiful, and I owned it forever. I was one of the original owners of this game, so it's a matter of going, that seems like your style. Like you seem to really like to bring games to just a level of pristine, or is that something that you enjoy, or how does this
Yes,
work?
I love the maintenance. I love the modifications, particularly with Revenge from Mars. The CRT was starting to fail, and I modded it with a very inexpensive LCD monitor, and it completely transformed the look of the game and made it feel brand new.
Down here in your basement, what's your favorite game, or what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Iron Maiden was my favorite until I got Rush. Being a musician, being a drummer, a huge Neil Peart fan, when this was rumored to be a release, the hair on my arm stood up, and in fact it's doing it right now. And I was fortunate enough to pick this up early in the release schedule, and it's basically the only one I've played since I acquired it.
So what's next? I mean, I notice a theme, but I mean, is it on purpose, the theme, or, I mean, what would be your next pin, or what are you thinking?
So, although I've only played Godzilla maybe a handful of times, I love the way that game flows, and I am contemplating, with the boss's approval, perhaps looking into acquiring that.
That's cool. Now, would you go lean towards a pro, or towards a premium, or toward an LE, or what are you thinking?
Based on everything I've read, I would probably lean towards a pro. As you acquire more machines, your expenses increase with maintenance and upkeep. And so I'd probably opt for the Pro at this point. I'm incredibly happy with the Iron Maiden Pro.
Absolutely.
They're fun to mod. I would be perfectly content with a Godzilla Pro.
That's awesome. Well, I agree. I've played that game many a time, and it's a great game. In fact, I remember the first time I played that was before you bought it, and it was like going, I touched it once, played one game, and went, all right, I just need to buy a pinball machine, and you got it before I did, which is awesome. So it's a nice perk to be able to play it in your space. So you had a tournament the other day.
We did.
It was your very first one. Tell me about tournament play in your basement. What did you think?
It was not nearly as crowded as I thought it would be.
Because people didn't show up?
No, we had a full house. We had 18 participants, but with the way we lined up the machines and had 2 upstairs in the garage, it never felt you never felt squeezed for space. There were plenty of places down here for people to hang out, eat, socialize, have a few alcoholic beverages. No, it went great. And then with the scores being shown on the big screen.
Oh, because we used match play.
Yep. So that was nice. Everybody could just walk by, see where things were, what games they were up on next, their placing. It was great. It worked a lot better than I anticipated.
So if I calculate it out right, you house league play once every 6 weeks. And then every 6 sessions of rounds, we have a tournament. So you'll be back having it again somewhere in the end of the year, I guess,
Perfect.
this being spring. So you're up for that?
Absolutely. Christmas holiday pinball.
That would be perfect match for our St. Patrick's Day. It'll
Yes.
follow up there, so that's brilliant. Well, hey, I appreciate it. We love your place. The Flow Den is a phenomenal place to go to. If you get a chance, you got to check it out. I realize it's not for public use, but he invites a lot of people. So come on over, enjoy this place. It's really awesome.
Please visit
Thanks, buddy.
our sponsor, Inscribed Solutions. If you can dream it, they can make it. And boy, have they made a lot of products for our pinball community, including coin doors, keychains, button surrounds, and even our very own custom Led Zeppelin pop bumpers, making Led Zeppelin the game we always dreamed it would look like. Inscribed Solutions.
Okay, well now we get a chance to meet one of the players who in this house and in many of the houses around here has the grand champion on every single machine. In fact, it's one of our goals is to try to get him out of it, but he's always the top guy, and that is Colin Krawczyk.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi. All right. So what we're going to do is I figured we'd talk to you a little bit about pinball, how you got into it and so on, but what better way of doing this than to let's play a game.
Sounds
So
good.
put us in for 3 players. Let's go.
Do it.
All right, so CJ, this is, go for it. All right, so this is Rush. What do you think of Rush?
I really like it so far. It's been got a chance to play both the premium and the pro, and really like the premium a little bit better so far as the upper shot right there that I just hit, and the time machine with the lift. So it's definitely a cool game. It's got a lot of flow. I can't wait to see when they get this code finalized and finished too. I'm sure they're gonna add a lot to it.
So it's fun that we're playing at the Flow Den, and you said this game has a lot of flow. It seems to make sense in here.
Yeah.
All right. So, how long have you been in pinball? I mean, you're obviously playing really well. Are you new to the game, or how long have you been in pinball, or how'd you get started?
I really played a lot in my college days in the late '80s at Illinois State. Was a commuter student and spent a lot of time at the student center in between classes. Played quite a lot of video games and a lot of pinball there. And just kind of really fell in love with a few games back in the day. And took a little break, and then COVID and friends getting machines and kind of relit the fire. And I've been playing a lot more.
What were some of the games that were back then? Your favorites?
You should ask. As I just said, relight the fire. So So my first college girlfriend was Fire, the Williams game with the big bell on top, and really found my rhythm with that game.
Do you practice?
Yeah, a little bit. I've got some games at home and spend a lot of time working on certain shots, and just playing and getting to know the layouts and the code is really probably the most important thing on the newer games.
Yeah.
Finding where the points are and where the extra balls are.
Gotcha. So how do you get that type of information? I mean, are you just doing that through experimentation? Are you a guy who puts a sock in the outlane, or how are you getting that?
Watch a little YouTube, play a few games, watch a little more YouTube, and a lot of streamers out there doing walkthroughs and really crushing the games, and just going and trying different things and learning a lot from all those online sources.
Do you have a favorite streamer who you think is giving you the best insights into your codes and stuff like that, or?
I don't know. Jack Green is really entertaining. I like him a lot. I like watching Carl, IP Pinball play. He's the guy that I really am impressed with the shots he makes, and especially the way he plays all his games, just blowing him up with the crazy shots.
Kayla?
You're up.
All right. So do you have a favorite pin that you play?
Favorite right now is probably Godzilla, because I'm still getting to know it, and I have a pro at my house, so it's been fun watching that code progress and getting to know that game. Big fan of all the Elwyn
Still
games.
booting again.
Yep.
Boot again.
So big fan of all the Elwyn games.
Yep.
And so you started off with Fire. Now you're in all the modern games. Are you a bigger fan of the modern games that were in this world, or are you? Do you like the older games, or where does that fit in your scheme of things?
Yeah, I really like the speed of the newer games, especially the newer Stern games. I think as I've gotten a little better in the last year or so, I really like the challenge and the pace of those games better. I appreciate the older games too. I still own a few and play them, but I definitely like the fast shooting and the snappy flipping.
So, of the games that you play down in the float in, what is your current favorite game down here?
Boy, I don't know. I would normally say Iron Maiden because I'm a huge Elwyn fan, but we had a tournament here a couple weeks ago and I didn't do so great in the finals on it, so I'm a little angry at Iron Maiden right now. But Dennis has done some really great things with all of these games and really brought them up a level. So I'm gonna say Rush.
Rush.
It's new and shiny.
Oh, it is new and shiny.
Yep.
Go towards music pins. Do you like Iron Maiden and Rush?
I do. For different reasons, I think. I'm not an Iron Maiden fan at all. I just I really like the pin and the way it flows and the shots on it. And I'm actually a bigger Rush fan than probably any other pins out there. So good timing that this thing just came out, and a few of my friends decided to buy it, so I don't have to.
I would have to say one of my favorite things about Rush is the combo shots that say 1, then 2, and 3, so it gives you a clear indication on the field of what to shoot for.
I totally agree with you on that, because at Glenn's the other night, when I played his for the first time, I actually made a 1, 2, 3, and then hit the time machine all in fast order, and I was like, oh wow, that's what you're supposed to do. And it was really satisfying.
I would like to point out that I was beating you at the end of ball 1. I know I didn't. That's disappearing here
We've
quickly.
got a long way to
I mentioned
go.
there were more balls involved.
But otherwise, that's very cool. Well, CJ, I can't tell you how excited I am that you took a chance to chat with us. We really do appreciate it. We're going to keep playing, and we'll post in the comments section later on who won and stuff like that and what the scores were. But at least it was really fun to talk to you, so I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for the invite.
Oh, no
Appreciate
problem. Good luck,
Well,
Kayla. Let's see
that
what we do.
concludes our first episode of Tilt Track filmed at the float-in in version 0.5 because we were just learning things. So what did we learn today? When we're filming over a pinball machine, we probably need lapel mics. So we'll be investing a little bit into this podcast to make it sound better. But we also learned how neat it is to have a lot of friends who were able to help us make this dream kind of come true. So if you liked it and you're seeing this, thank you, because that means somehow or another you're part of our test run. And if you have any comments, please let me know. If you have any suggestions, us on Facebook at Facebook/TiltTrek and also at tilttrek.com. But again, thank you all.